Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I have a triple challenge for you guys today. This is a sketch challenge inspired by Sketch by Scrapbook Your Joy. So that's a sketch I'm going to be using. I'm also doing another winter challenge over on Tiara's page. So this is the My Story challenge to scrapbook something about yourself. So I'm going to be scrapbooking about my job. And this is also the stitching challenge for the Scraptacular Cropping Club. So I'm doing a new stitch for me that Desaree taught us over on that Facebook group, and I am in love with this stitch. Stitch. Desaree, you've created a monster, because now I'm going to use this stitch on everything, and I love it. And I forgot the name of the stitch, so if someone knows, please let me know what it's called, but you'll see it in a minute. But I am just going to start by following that sketch. Pretty literally, I'm going to go ahead and get I'm getting the branding strips off right now, and then I'm going to go ahead and get that diagonal aspect of that sketch down. And I have a new phone, so I'm still trying to get adjusted to my new, how I have to do the lighting and everything, so it is the color's kind of off in this one, so I'm sorry about that. But yes, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut the diagonal that's going on here from the sketch. I do end up flipping it just because I decided to use the B side of that page as the paper element for that diagonal, and because there's text I had to accommodate for that. So that's why I ended up flipping the sketch a little bit, but it still works out fine. I'm just having to paper piece here so that there aren't any gaps, so it takes a little little jimmy rigging here, but it works out. I end up having gaps in the paper that I end up covering with my photo, so it's fine. But this is the My Mind's Eye Meow collection. I love this collection, but it's very cat themed, very, very cat themed. So I am limited to when I can use it to having cat pictures, which I don't have all that often. But since this one is a cat layout, I decided I would try and use as much of this up as possible. I have a ton of embellishments for this collection, so I think my problem is I need to get more paper, because I'm going to run out of paper way before I can get through all the embellishments. But I did go through and pull in pink scrap from another collection just because I needed something to cover up that gap there. So that's why I decided to do for that. So I'm just trying to piece this whole page together right now. There we go. And then that photo is going to end up covering those gaps, so I'm not worried about that right now. I decided the first thing I wanted to do is pull that pink in somewhere else, and I'm going to rely on my black paper scraps to really kind of define the edges of everything. These papers can get pretty busy, especially with using all the different cat icon stuff, so bordering in black really helps bump up the boldness but define the edges of the papers so it doesn't all run together. So you'll see how that ends up coming together as this page keeps going, because the polka dot along with the text and then all the cat stuff that goes on here, it can get busy really fast. This page does end up being kind of busy, but I'm cool with it. I like this kind of busy when it's kind of controlled chaos a little bit. So but I'm just going to lay out all my die cuts. I'm looking at my embellishments now to see where I want to build from here. So much cat stuff. I really love these day of the week tabs, and I really thought it was appropriate since this page is about work. I thought having the days of the weeks would be appropriate. But it kind of throws off my design, so I end up not going with that, but I think that would be a cool idea if you are scrapbooking something that's kind of a daily routine, such as work and something like that. That's a great time to use stuff like that has day of the weeks and all that stuff. I love that little black one that says Cat-ittude. This is one of our doctor's cats, and she's her name is Brista, which is Irish for broken, I think. I don't know. It's another language for broken, because this poor cat has so many problems. Because she's a doctor, she has some cat breeding friends, and whenever they kind of get a special cat in the litter, she pawns them off on her, because she, being a vet, is a capable of taking care of high maintenance health-wise kitties. So this cat is happy as can be, dumb as a box of rocks, poor thing. But she does have seizures a lot, so it doesn't seem to bother her at all, but she is just more of a high maintenance cat that not everybody would be able to take care of, which is why this doctor ended up with her. But she was here at the vet center for a while she got spayed and all of that, so that's just me snuggling her, and she looks like she is hating life right now. She actually is pretty snuggly, but she looks like she is very ticked off at me, so I thought that was a funny photo, so I thought that cat-ittude sentiment was super appropriate. So that's definitely making it on the page. But right now I'm going to go ahead and do the stitching portion of this challenge, and so I'm just poking holes in this frame where I know my stitching is going to go, and then I sped this part up a lot just because it was a little time consuming. But I love this new stitch that Desaree taught us. It makes your stitches look really chunky, and I really like the texture it adds, and it adds a lot of impact, so I really like how that stitching looks. And I know I still sound really bad. Thank you for everyone who has wished me well wishes getting better. My cold's pretty much gone. I sound way worse than I feel at this point, so I'm all better, even though my voice sounds rough still. But I am using washi tape to cover up the loose ends or anywhere that looks a little funky on the back, just to make sure nothing gets snagged. And that's pretty much how I'm going to do my stitching. The sketch kind of has another paper layer right there, but I didn't want to cover up the background, so I thought by kind of doing a faux layer by having an outlined stitch, that was kind of a cool touch and a different take on the sketch, so that's why I decided to do that. And then now I'm just really trying to go in with embellishments here. I really like this green speech bubble over on the left here, but it threw the design off. It made a weird gap with having that coming out to the left on the top of the photo, but then having that shelf on the bottom of the photo coming out. I felt like I needed to fill in that gap because it was looking really awkward, and I never really found a way that I liked to do that. So that speech bubble doesn't stay. I kind of move stuff around a lot until I'm happy with it. But I left it all in, that way you could at least kind of see my thought process and where I was going with everything. There are a lot of cats that come in this collection, so I definitely wanted to try and use up a few of them on this page. So that's a chipboard cat there, and then I do bring in one of those die cut cats as well. I'm just fighting a lot with placement. Yeah, I kind of realized that that section wasn't going to work over there, so it looks a lot better once I take the speech bubble away, and then I leave that cat down there with a few of the hearts, and I think that's a good balance. And then here I'm just bringing in the pink die cut cat. And now I'm just going to do my journaling on that tag. Which is basically just saying that as a vet tech I get to snuggle our patients whether they like it or not. Which I do only snuggle the ones who want it. It just doesn't look like it in this picture. But yeah. Oh, that cat's such a goober, but I love her. But yeah, that's pretty much the page. I do add some matte black freckled fawn enamel dots here and there, but this is the final page. Sorry if you can hear my dog being silly in the background. But yeah, I really like how this one turned out. So I got all 3 of those challenges covered. I had a lot of fun with this one. Thanks guys for watching. Bye.